I think Sanjay is, a little popular and famous among us. So he has recently won the Indian Achievers Award 2020 by Indian Achiever Forum. He is the inventor and creator of Crowpath and Selector Hub. Crowpath is being used worldwide from 1 million testers across. He is presenting us a very interesting talk about misconceptions we learned due to lack of innovations. Sanjay, for being with us. It's over to you.
No, thank you. Thank you so much for the great introduction. Hello, everyone. Hope you all are doing great. And I'm sure it's a great day going for all of us and great learning happening here. Just let me know if you can see my screen once.
Sure. Yes, we can see you.
Okay, perfect. So, guys, it will not take any much time. Misconception we learned due to lack of innovation. So, there was like trust me, like some of things you must be already aware about it, but trust me, the fact and stats I'm going to show you today, you will be surprised with that, and definitely you will be adding a lot of learnings and practices in day-to-day time, which will save a huge amount of time with right concepts. So the fact is, like many times what happened, that we used to become habitual of the things what we do on a regular basis, and we we consider those things as an standard, that okay, this is a standard that we have to follow. And sometimes due to lack of innovation we never considered that this could be wrong. Something similar happened in our automation industry and testing development, software development and testing industry, that we have considered lot of misconception as a standard, and we followed those rules. So let me help you, and I would really request you that spread these words with everyone, that because not everyone aware about these things, which I'm going to show you guys today. Some of you definitely are aware about it, but let's see. We all always say that we should write our own XPath and selectors. And in fact, I also say that same thing. But what is the right platform to write and verify them? We say that we should write our own XPath and selectors, but we never, we blindly say, like whenever we talk about XPath and selectors, we blindly say we should learn, we should write our own XPath, we should write our own selectors. What if in interview, because in interview you will not get a tool, right? And definitely that's true, that yes, we will have to write in interview as well, that our own XPath. So the same thing, let me help you that what wrong things we are doing while writing our own XPath. So here, suppose for an example, in this website, suppose this is a very common question asked by interviewers, that tell me how many links on this page. So the very, if I'm not telling right, you can stop me in between. You can put in the chat that you won't do in this way. Suppose in interview, if interviewer asks you, or like normally you want to check that how many links on this page. So when we think about links, we search for the A tag, right? And we do anchor tag like /A. I hope my screen is visible to you all. If not, just let me know.
Yes, we can see it, Sanjay.
Yeah, perfect. So here on the DOM at the left corner, I have typed /A here, and it is showing me 92. So you see that at the very first, like of course there are people those who already knew it, but at the first we will say that there are 92 links on this page. But I'm not sure how many of you are aware that DevTools is not just to verify XPath and selectors. It also works on string search functionality. Like it will also show those matches wherever it will find this string. Like you can see here /A here matching with this. This is not an anchor tag. This is showing as a match because it found here /A. This is not the right answer. There are not 92 links on this page. Then how will you get the right information? So this is a misconception that we have learned, that we should write our own XPath and we verify here. DevTools is not the right place to verify. I mean, yes, you can verify. It has that feature, but along with that, it also works on search functionality, which can give you the wrong results. Suppose you have written some XPath like this as well, like with attribute and all. If that string will match somewhere in the page, then your XPath will break. and you will be scratching your head that in DevTools it is finding the XPath, while in my script, when I'm running the script, it is showing that element not found error. And this is a very common error. And trust me, guys, when you are writing any means automation script in any framework, whether any framework like Selenium, Cypress, or any technology you are writing, selectors are the main hurdle where like you waste 60 to 70% of time. And this, the 60 and 70% which I'm saying is like from the facts uh, uh, which I have got from like LinkedIn and from the peoples, those who are writing automation scripts. So here, and now suppose we have to check like how many select tags. Suppose you ask me how many drop downs are there on this page, build with select tags. Right, so how we do that? Like double forward select you will do, and it is showing 151. While is this the correct answer? It is matching double forward slash select this way, you see, like this way, double forward slash select. This is not a select tag here. So this is again a wrong answer. This is not a right number of match. Can you verify double forward slash select tag here? No, you cannot. Then what is the right way to verify your XPath and CSS selector? Let me show you. Here is the new innovation, Selectors Hub, which is the right way to verify XPath and CSS selector here. So what you can do, you have to just okay. So here you just type double forward slash A here, and you see that it gives you the right information. If we, whatever we have typed here, double forward, here it was showing 92. Actually, there are 66 link on this page. If you have to verify select tag, like how many select tags are there, there are actually 0 select tag on this page. So this is the right platform. This is actually the right platform to verify your XPath and CSS selector. Now you see that here you got the right information. And if you're writing anything wrong, that also, suppose you have written an XPath here, let's say we are writing XPath for any element here, like this. Let's copy this one. And you made a mistake in your XPath here while typing. If you will verify that XPath in Chrome DevTools or in any browser DevTools, you will see that it will show you 0 matching node or not show anything. And you will think like, okay, there is something wrong in my XPath. So you see that it is showing 0 of 0. In place of finding that what is wrong in my XPath, you will think that, okay, 0 of 0 it is finding. You will start making XPath, like start using some other attribute or some other text, or you will start making it with parent or something like that. You will do that, I'm for very sure. But if you verify the same XPath here in selector sub, you will see that it will give you the right information that what's wrong in your XPath or selectors. So this is what you will be learning from this. And if you will be doing anything wrong, let's say you did like this way, it will tell you that what is allowed, what is not allowed in your XPath or selectors. Suppose for an example, you are a Cypress user and you don't play with selector, you don't write XPath, and you write just a CSS selector. In that case, suppose you have to find out on this page how many select tags are there and writing CSS selector. So this way you will be writing, right? But you see that it is finding here select CSS selector. You have written like this way with the tag name. So here you have written select, and it is matching the string. It is not matching the select tag. You can see that. So I hope you are getting the point that it works on search functionality of string. But if you same thing, if you verify here in selector sub, you will get to know that how many select tags are there on this test project page. So there are 0. So understand this fact that this is not the right platform to verify. It was I agree that it was true that we should not use XPath, or there was a saying that we should write our own XPath, but we never discussed that what is the right platform of writing XPath. Because of that, we have learned many misconceptions. And in fact, like in interview, many times people didn't understand that why we got rejected when an interview asked, because this is a very frequently asked question, that how many links on this page, and we do that the same thing, double/A in DevTools, and from there itself interview say okay, thank you, bye bye. Now let me show you some amazing stats and facts. Selectors for SVG elements. I'm not sure how many of you are aware about that. The SVG XPath for SVG elements doesn't follow the standard pattern of XPath. I put the same poll on LinkedIn, Twitter, etc., and you see that this was the result from the poll. Like almost more than 70% people has given the wrong answer. You see, this was the right answer for this question. Just 26% people out of 153 votes has given the right answer, while this was the answer people has given. Now, the reason why it happened, let me show you. Suppose there is an SVG element over here. This one. Now let's inspect this element. You see this one. Now let's say right click and copy XPath here and paste this value here. You see that this is the XPath which browser DevTools gives, which is a wrong format of SVG for SVG XPath. And this is the region that we have learned that this is the XPath for SVG element, while this is a wrong pattern for SVG element, and we never learned about this. You see that it is giving 0 of 0. In fact, I mean, basically this doesn't support. Chrome DevTools doesn't give you, or any browser DevTools doesn't give you the right syntax for SVG element. And that is the region that almost 80% people are giving the wrong, I mean, not aware about that what is the right pattern of SVG elements selector. And this happened, like, imagine from the day when the web was developed, and we are just learning we have learned the wrong things. But if same thing you would have verified in selectors hub here, press enter, it will give you the right information, that invalid SVG XPath format, and it also gives you the right XPath for SVG. And if you will build XPath for SVG, it will give you the right pattern, that what is the right pattern of writing SVG, because it works as a smart editor. And it also gives you the information that this is SVG element, so you will have to follow some specific rules, so that you learn from there. So this is the kind of innovation selectors hub comes with. Selectors for Shadow DOM. This also has some amazing fact and stats. See the result here. Which selector can work for Shadow DOM elements? This was the poll I ran on LinkedIn, and you see here, just 15% people has given the right answer. 85% people are not aware what is the right pattern of, or the right way of writing selectors for Shadow DOM. Why? Because we never considered that what is the right platform to write selectors. Or in fact, like, there was nothing till date where you can verify selectors for Shadow DOM. There was nothing. And selectors hub is the very first innovation, guys, that which made it possible to write and verify selectors for Shadow DOM. Let me show you how. Here, if you're writing selectors for Shadow DOM, so you see that this is the element. And with the naked eyes, or like if somebody is new and doesn't not aware about Shadow DOM, then it's tough for beginners and freshers, and in fact, like, people those who are not aware about Shadow DOM, tough to verify whether this element is inside Shadow DOM or not. And in fact, we never care in the single shot, we never check whether this element is inside iframe, inside Shadow DOM, or inside frame or anything. We always immediately start writing selector for these such kind of element. And in fact, let's copy. If you copy or whatever, if you write also, you see that it is showing 0 of 0. And if you write CSS selector, let's say ID is there, hashtag input, you see it is showing 0 of 0. You cannot verify selectors for Shadow DOM element in Chrome or in any browser DevTools, not even in console. So if you might be thinking that you can verify this way, here Here also you cannot verify, like it will not give you the result. If you try to verify like document.query selector, that also it doesn't work for Shadow DOM. So this is not the right way to verify. Like nothing was possible to verify selectors for Shadow DOM till date. And that was the reason that almost 85% people has given the wrong answer here. Imagine like what we were doing, like how much time we have wasted due to lack of innovation. But not anymore. Now you have selector sub. You see, just as soon as you open selector sub tab, it will immediately tell you that this is inside Shadow DOM and here you can verify and write your selector. Suppose if you would have written your XPath like this here, it would have immediately let you know that this is invalid CSS selector. XPath doesn't support Shadow DOM. You might have heard about this thing very first time, that Shadow DOM doesn't support XPath or XPath doesn't support Shadow DOM. So you will have to write CSS selector, and there you go, one element matching. This is how you can write and verify selectors for Shadow DOM element. This is the very first innovation which made it possible to write selectors for Shadow DOM. And these are some of the amazing innovation. There are like lot of amazing things in selector sub which made it possible, which were never possible. And these were the misconception which we have learned, like this Shadow DOM, then SVG, and writing the XPath and selectors for Shadow DOM elements. And this is these are some of the regions and the innovations which with the selector sub people are able to learn selectors. And the new term, like previously we used to say that we should not use an XPath tool, or we should not use a selector tool to generate XPath. We should write our own XPath. And that is the reason the new term is that yes, we should use the selector sub to write and verify the XPath in CSS selector. And that is one of the reason that it has won the Indian Achievers Award, because of such innovations, and community has accepted it like anything. The next big thing about selector sub, you see that whenever you start writing selectors for some element. Suppose here we have to write XPath for these elements here. The very first thing what you will do, we will do command F /H2, and you see that it goes up and down. Again, we'll have to inspect this element, and let's say we are writing this way. So you will write this way, right? And it is finding one of one matching node. What you will do, the very first thing you will do, you will copy this XPath and you will put it in your script and you will execute. Trust me, you will do the same way. You will never look whether this element is inside Shadow DOM, whether this element is inside iframe. Will you? No, trust me, you will not. And this way you will waste almost 30-40 minutes of time. If you would have open selector sub, if you would have open selector sub right there itself, you would have got the information that that particular element is inside iframe, and you will have to switch inside iframe. So you see that you got that iframe XPath and the XPath for that particular element, and it is telling you that inside iframe. So you will not waste your time and you will learn the concepts. It's very simple. You will have to install it. It's a browser extension available for Chrome, Firefox, Edge, and Opera. And those who are waiting for Safari, very soon, within a week, maybe it will come for Safari as well. So stay tuned, guys. And you just go to selectorsub.com here. For whichever browser you want, you can install it. Just click on this. It will take you to the that Chrome store or browser store, and whichever store you will click on add to Chrome, and that you will add. I would request you to follow this video tutorial to make the best use of Selectors Hub. There are a lot of amazing innovations and features are there which will save a huge amount of time and will help you to learn new concept about XPath, DOM, selectors, and everything. This is absolutely free, and it is completely supported by community and you people. If you feel that this is helping you and in your business and it's earning for you, saving time, please be a patron and support Selectors Hub. Not everyone aware about this Selectors Hub, so I would really request you guys, please share about it and let everybody know this amazing innovation. And one quick update that I'm not supporting and working on giving any update on CrowPath. So you can use Selector Sub and upgrade to Selector Sub. This is really amazing. These are some of the achievements of Selector Sub being used in more than 120 countries. It is the #1 XPath and selectors tool in all the platform. Appears as a skills in LinkedIn profiles. Got more than 20K downloads just in very short span of time. Developers calls it lifesaver, and it's being suggested and given training on all the Udemy platform. Huge thanks to all the Selector Sub sponsors and supporters, Patron. My heartfelt gratitude and thank you Selenium Summit, Agile Testing, and big thanks to Aditya for giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts and ideas and innovations with the community and help them to save their time and the misconception what they have learned. So I'm really thankful to the whole team of Selenium Summit 21. You can reach out to me anytime on any of the social media platform or Slack channel of Selector Sub. So with that, thank you so much, guys. You can ask the question if you have anything.
Thanks, Sanjay. That was very insightful. We have a couple of questions lined up. Uh, Shirisha is asking, often though we present the right locator, which is actually correct, but still the automation test does not identify it. Can you please share your experience on this?
Yes, so there are many times it happens. So we will have to figure it out in those situations whether the actually that selector is not present on that window. So what I would suggest in this case, very first thing you do is that the window which is open through automation script, don't close that and verify that XPath in that window. And then you see if that XPath or selector is matching in that opened window through your automation script. And if that matches, then you can put some wait time over there before interacting with that particular element, because it happens many times that you interact with another element immediately after performing the action on some other element. So meanwhile, when you are interacting with that element, you would have not that element is not loaded in the DOM. So that element should present in the DOM.
Sirisha, hope that answered. If not, you can still unmute and ask for the follow-up questions.
Yeah, thank you, Sanjay. That helps, Dipti.
Yeah, thank you. We have Sumit asking, is it possible for a browser to have selectors hub, but the plugin is unable to read the HTML DOM of an application? Is that possible?
Is it possible for a browser to have selectors hub, but the plugin is unable to read HTML DOM for an application? No, if you have selector sub added in your browser and your application is loading in the DOM, then definitely it will be able to read the, you would be able to generate the selectors and selector sub would be able to read the DOM. There are few scenarios where Chrome doesn't, where not Chrome, just like it is an standard where browser will not allow to read any plugin DOM when your DOM is built with iframe from the different source and the shadow DOM from the closed shadow DOM. So in those two situations, browser doesn't allow any plugin to read the DOM.
Cool. Manish also has a couple of questions. Manish, would you want to unmute, or should I just read the questions?
I'm just reading it. Money question. Often though we present the right locator, which is actually correct, but still automation test does not identify. Can you please share? I guess this is the answer I have given already. That was a cool solution on Shadow DOM. Thanks. Some of the organization doesn't allow add-ons in browser. How to work with that? Yeah. So the organizations which were not allowing, so you can request to your admin team to whitelist the selectors up. There are many companies which have already whitelisted it, and I can show you the, like, now it has amazing thing which can help you to easily get whitelisted from your company. That there, when you will open selectors up, there are privacy practices here. If you click on this tab, it clearly says that publisher has disclosed that it will not collect any user data. You can read the privacy policy as well, and you can read this. So it makes it helps a lot to get it whitelisted immediately, because it runs only on your local. And in fact, on selectors of website as well, you can see that it is mentioned that it doesn't read any of your browser data. It is absolutely safe plugin, runs on your local only.
Cool. Hope that answered your questions, Manish. Do we have anybody else who has some questions for Sanjay?
Hi, Deepti. Veer Kumar here. I have one question. Hi, Sanjay. So basically, I have a question regarding, the elements that comes on a mouse over. So
Yes.
is it possible to get those located with the help of, selector
Yes.
sub? Because I
Yes. Yes. Yes.
quite often got stuck or spending lot of time when there
Yeah.
is, there is a mouse over and you have to
Yes.
find the.
Yes, 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 yes. So definitely it has that solution, and good that you asked that question. Actually, there were like, that's what I told you, that the region wide selectors have got Indian Achievers Award because it made many things impossible possible. So you see that these are the elements. Suppose if you inspect this, will they will disappear from the DOM. You would not be able to
Right.
inspect. So this element, it's very easy. You just right click and copy. You will get the copy option here, copy relative XPath. And now if you open selector sub here, so because that you see that element washing machine, right now it is not loaded, but when you will hover on this, and now if you press enter, this will show you, selector sub will show you, because that loaded on hover. So, and also this context menu is customizable. So if you can customize this, you can also
Just
turn off this.
Aditya, can you? I think he's sharing his screen. Can you? Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so were you not able to see my screen before? So I can explain it
So
if
we
you
were
Yeah,
want.
seeing.
please, please. Sanjay, my mistake. I was having
No,
spotlight on you. Can you show it again?
sure, Aditya. So friend, if you see that these are the elements, if you right click and inspect that, you would not be able to inspect. So these are some of the drop downs which comes on hover only. So for in this situation, what you can do, you just right click and selector sub available right there in the context menu. You need not to open selector sub every time. So here from here itself you can copy. So let's copy this one and you paste it here. You see that washing machine right now it is showing 0. Why? Because that is not available in the DOM. If you want to see, you hover on this particular element, now you press enter, it will show you one matching node. So this is the magic selector sub does. And there are few more drop down. How much time do I left with?
We have another 5 minutes. You can.
Awesome. So, so because there are a lot of amazing innovation in the pipeline, there are a few more kind of elements which you in fact can't inspect at all, and you cannot write it XPath for them. They don't get appeared in the DOM. Like here, if you type something, you won't be able to inspect. As soon as you click anywhere, in fact, like selector sub, from the selector sub as well, you won't be able to get it. You see that that got immediately disappear. Right click. So this is not possible at all today, but it will be very soon. It will be possible with the next version of selector sub. Let me show you the future of selectors. So this is, guys, a very first time people are going to see the future of selectors, what is going to be. So here you see that selector sub will make it possible to do such things. There will be a debugger button. This is not available, the one which I'm showing now. This is the next release. You see that now you would be able to inspect this, and you can write.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. This is the way that these kind of elements you would be able to inspect. These disappearing elements you would be able to inspect from the selector sub in the next release, which are not possible today at all. But yeah, this one you can do it from today itself. This one, and here you can selector sub. Here you can see that you can customize the context menu option. By default, you will get just relative XPath. If you want selector, CSS selector, JS path, absolute XPath, then you can check them from here. And I would again request you guys that follow this video tutorial to make the best use of selector sub on selector sub YouTube channel as well. You can follow, and there are a lot more good tutorials about working with the selectors.
Sanjay, we have another question. Can Selectors Hub be used over Tableau server pages? Since Selenium is mostly unable to be used for Tableau server page automation testing.
Okay, so I would say that one answer for this one, which will solve which will be answered for everyone. If you are able to open your URL in the browser, like anything like this, if you are able to open your browser, if you are able to open your application in the browser through URL and DOM is available for your application, then yes, you can use selector sub for that. No matter whether Selenium is working with your application, whether Cypress is working with your application, no, it doesn't. No matter in which technology your application is built with, the only thing is required that if you are able to open your website in the browser, Chrome browser or any browser, you would be able to use selector sub with your application, and DOM should be available for that application. You would be able to use. Nothing else is required, whether your application is on Angular, React, in any technology, no matter, doesn't matter anything for selector sub. It should be able, you should be able to open on browser. In fact, it works with the hybrid applications as well. If you are able to open your application, like if you toggle this is a mobile web view. So if you are able to open your application in mobile application in the web browser, you would be able to do that, inspect that. Now you see that this is a web mobile google.com. Here you can inspect and get the XPath for them, selectors for them. I hope that helped.
Thanks. Another thing, any example for selector hub handling dynamic XPath will be helpful. Does it highlight whether the XPath chosen is dynamic in nature? Sumit
Yes,
wants
yes.
to know this.
Yes, it does highlight, like if any element is dynamic, it does highlight. So see, not any XPath is dynamic. This is a myth again. This is again a misconception. Actually, I should mention this in my slide, that this is again a misconception that any XPath is dynamic or what. XPath is not dynamic. Dynamic is the attribute value, because see, XPath is not dynamic. Dynamic is the XPath becomes dynamic because of attribute value, or the value, text value which you have used in building your XPath is dynamic. That could change. So if any value which you feel that it is dynamic, like you see here for an example, this XPath is built with this class. Now you see that it is giving an alert icon that class looks dynamic. Why it is saying that? Because there is no algorithm in the world that which can tell you that ABC123 is dynamic value or ABC123 is static value. It could be static for you, it could be dynamic for me. Like for my application, I know that this class is static, so I can use this. But for you, your application, you would be knowing that whether this is a dynamic or static. So it suggests you that you can uncheck or check. If you feel that your class is dynamic, then you can uncheck this and it will generate with something else. So that option you have here. I hope this helped. And in fact, you can pass the attribute value with which you want to generate your selectors.
Yeah, thank you, Sanjay.